Rasperience is on your radio. Yeah. The familiar voice with the unfamiliar sound, Lalibella. Yeah. Bridge Nation. Rasai.
Bless you, love, Rastafari.
Yes, I. All right. So, I think last week, Friday, we were invited to the reception for the Prince Ermias.
Under the auspices of the Ethiopian Embassy, right?
Under the auspices of the Ethiopian Embassy.
I have to make that distinction.
Yes.
But as we know, Lalibella, Prince Ermias, Selassie, is no stranger to Jamaica. He has been here a couple of times.
Four times.
And then here what happened. In the visit of His Majesty, in the 50th anniversary visit of His Majesty, it could not have been better.
Yes.
There's nothing that can better that, because here what happened. It was one of the landmark celebration where we do it all the time when we have landmark years. We go out there and our numbers go revisit that moment in 1966. So
21st of April.
Yes, so with the Rastafari communities, spearheaded by Ras Mike at the university and others, a committee was formed, and there was a unison with them and government in trying to make it a grand occasion. Yeah. So with that unification of thought, government, Rastafari, the Prince came here. A tumultuous welcome that we would have prepared for Kadamawi Haile Selassie.
Yes.
So when him come out, it's like him say, wait, this look like is the first him I go feel like the royal prince he is when him see the kind of tumultuous welcome that was according to him.
I saw him at Trenchtown. I saw him with the benevolence
in
Mobile. A whole heap of place. I saw him the other night too at Babsy Grange thing at Pegasus.
At the Pegasus.
All right, and I know he made a whole heap a run. But tell me something. With the Prince philosophy and the Prince concept of his grandfather, it is not coincide with Rastafari.
And you up now, Lalibella. We don't expect that either,
Right, because him just know him grandfather and him know
grandfather. And
right.
he just probably knew him grandfather from about to the time when he had a little sensibility as a youth.
Right.
The baby coming up and him start, this is grandfather.
So
and then the time by 1916 or so, he had probably about 14 years.
He was 62-year-old.
Yeah, him about 14 years during His Majesty's reign. Then he would have gone. I remember the Derg came in 74. So most of the family members were out and who never out get in prison, like their parents and aunts and so forth.
Well, still that is no excuse still for the king, cause
I'm just telling the I say he wouldn't have much time with His Majesty, but Rastafari is not dependent on any family member to validate.
That is what I want to talk about.
Who Haile Selassie the first is.
Right.
So we can go forward to 1987 when his cousin Prince David Makonnen visited Jamaica, and he did a very interesting interview with the boogeyman Barry Garden. And when this question was asked, the Rastaman, a person calling to say what is his view on the Rastafari belief that his grandfather is God. And Prince David, remember now, this is another royal member of the family.
He said the right thing.
He said
religion
my grandfather would have answered this question by saying religion is personal, country is for the masses. Right. And then he went on to say, then if the white man said Jesus Christ is blonde hair, blue eye, white skin, what is wrong if the Rasta man said Emperor Haile Selassie the first?
Right.
So go look back for that interview there. So, as we say,
I and I there for reiterate the whole of that. But
yeah.
As you say, we are not depending on a bloodline family of His Majesty to know who he is. We don't expect, we are not waiting on him to validate us. So the welcome that him get is a welcome of the bloodline.
Of the bloodline is what we would have accorded to his grandfather as a bloodline, because we have to recognize, is a royal descendant of the house of David,
yes.
25th king coming through Haile Selassie, and
Yes.
he's within that bloodline.
Yes.
So the blood of Haile Selassie the first, the
Reign
blood
it.
of Christ,
Reign it
the
in
blood
him.
of Christ would have flowed in his veins as it flowed in the veins of
Right.
Haile
And him
Selassie.
is an Iron man. Him is an Iron man.
Listen
Meet
to
him
man.
and him nice. You know, him humble and him, yeah, man. Him good.
But here I know, I want you. Did you listen to his interview with Brother Miguel?
No, I didn't.
Oh my, you have to go get that interview there and probably talk to Brother Miguel, because
I will
he
get
said he was caught off guard with that question.
Okay.
And it's like, but it need more clarity. I too need to listen it back.
Yes.
But this is the gist of what he said. He was caught off guard with the question and the word myth. Because what the prince should realize, what if Kabu had said, Ethiopia has many Muslims in the country. What's your view on the Muslim faith?
Yes.
Being an Orthodox,
He wouldn't say it was a myth.
He couldn't dare say
He couldn't dare say that. Else he would have been like Salman Rushdie.
Listen to me, man. Or the teacher who had asked her students to name their teddy bear in one of them European countries.
Yes.
And a little child got name her teddy bear Mohammed.
Aye.
And the teacher was hunted down.
Yeah, man.
And left the school.
Yes.
So the prince has to know, and it's one of
He
the
must
things
have.
I
He
would
must.
have
Well,
told him.
he must have the same regard for our.
Rastafari
Yeah,
or
man.
any other faith.
And then Rastafari is always trampled down, and them always attacked down to Rastafari, and
he's aware of that.
Yeah, and I'm glad forget something like that. Yeah, the opportunity for push we down more.
But here I know, it's not just now, remember back in the 60s when we did have some governor in Jamaica, them did ask the British ambassador when on his way to in the 60s, before independence, to ask the governor. The governor would have asked the ambassador from England when he visited the emperor to ask him to refute the claim that he's God.
Yes.
And the ambassador, Mr. Musk, say on his return, oh my gosh, I forgot to even ask him the question. When I sat in his presence, there was so much things to discuss.
Yes.
I forgot to ask him this question.
How could you ask a man his name?
His name is God.
Yeah. You know what I mean? If you see that, how could you ask such question?
Yeah. And then here what happened after that, when His Majesty came to Jamaica, I had a discussion via a questionnaire with Senator Hector Winter, who was the Foreign Affairs Minister, and he said the night before the morning when His Majesty had asked to meet the representatives of the Rasta movement, they had a list of over 32.
Yes.
And he said to His Majesty, Your Majesty, tomorrow you will meet the representatives of the Rastafari movement. Would you care to say to them that you're not God? And he says, Majesty, turn and look at him. When you look on a man to one corner of your eye.
Yeah.
And said to him, say, who am I to interfere with their beliefs?
Yes, man.
And Senator Winter sent that back to me in a questionnaire. And when I asked him about how he feel about the emperor, he said one thing, he was very determined to meet with the Rastafarians.
Yes, because
His Majesty gave them a mandate, that wherever he was, the Rastas must get special invitation.
Right.
That's why Rasta end up at King's House for the first time. And a special invitation.
Rastafari, it is good to talk to you. We need a whole program for talk. Because so much information just a flow.
It can't done.
It can't done. But we have to.
It can't done within one program.
No, but within this program, I have to cut now. So give thanks. Give thanks to the eye for share. And we're going to share again. In the future.
Than none at all. Love and blessing to the Bridge family.
Love,
love, yeah? Rastafari.
Rastafari.
Love.